Tony D and Little Joan with the Screenwriter's Rant on a wholesome family movie called Family Camp. I don't know who produced this. Normally Disney would, but you know what's happening with them. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 8. Check it out at Amazon.com. I am in Ocean City, New Jersey, at the Music Pier at OC Con from 10 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Doing these videos ahead of time, so if you're in the area, stop on by the comic book show and check out my books. Now, so this is the family. I forget what they're called, like the Ackermans or something. And they end up going to church camp. And everything goes wrong. The husband forgets to make the payment, and they somehow get in anyway. And they're going glamping, but the teenage daughter has no Wi-Fi. And then the couple next door and their family are he's a chiropractor, but he's kind of obnoxious. He's kind of a crazy guy with a hot Spanish wife. And he gives everybody a back adjustment. It's just an amusing, wacky time in the camp. The chiropractor's family wins the trophy every year for the family, and the other family wants to win the trophy now, and they kind of hate him. But, of course, they grow to be friends, and it's just sort of like a friendly, wacky movie. You know, they end up in the woods, the two fathers, and they end up lost, and they're trying to find their way out. And then there's a scene with bees, and then the wives have to do the smart thing because, you know, even in a wholesome family movie, men apparently are idiots. I don't like when they don't play characters to the height of their intelligence, but so, you know. Wacky things happen. The wife falls out of canoe. The family prays together. The teenage daughter has a fling with some teenage boy there, and at the end, the husbands fight, I don't know, beavers. It's something wacky like that. So it doesn't look bad. I mean, it looks like an actual family movie. I guess the kid is obsessed with videotaping stuff. Does this take place in the past? Why wouldn't he use his phone? Only in theaters, May 13th. Huh. Interesting. FamilyCampMovie.com. I wonder who made this. Cove Films, Roadside, PG. I mean, did this movie come out in like the 80s and they're just releasing it now? Oh, here's some more info. When their pastor encourages the congregation to sign up for a week of family camp, Grace believes she's found the perfect cure for her imperfect clan, even if they'd rather all be anywhere but rustic camp Catawba. Family Camp is a laugh-out-loud comedy that's sure to touch the hearts and tickle the funny bones of every family member from 8 to 80. That's what they're going for. So, you know, it looks okay. I mean, I would rather, you know, I don't have kids, but if I did and I wanted to take them to see a movie, I'd rather take them to something like this than, say, like Minions, right? Minions looks like they're retreading. It's a, you know, it's not this is at least looks like it has actors and human beings having interaction. You know, and it looks pretty wholesome, looks harmless. You know, there's not a lot of craziness going on. I guess these guys lose their clothes somehow in the woods. And the dads are doing all the wacky stuff. Here, the teenage girl pushes her possible boyfriend off a bridge. You know, it looks like harmless fun. Does it look particularly funny? It looks all right. It looks amusing. I mean, I got a pretty high bar for comedy. I didn't really laugh out loud at any of this. I just thought, oh, okay. You know, a wacky beaver standing in the middle of the road when the ATV comes and then puts his little hands up. That's kind of fun. it looks more fun than it is hilarious. Um, the leads are okay. They're okay. This is a movie you would have expected someone like, back in the day, Chevy Chase would star in. Maybe if David Ketchner hadn't been arrested in New York for a DUI, he'd be the other guy. Normally these would be pretty big movies, and normally someone like Disney would produce them. These are two traditional church-going families doing things, and I like the idea of the movie. I want it to do well because I think we need something out there. I would, this to me would be a movie I'd invest my money in because this would sell. This would be something, and they got a crazy camp cook or whatever. I could see this movie selling and doing decently. It's not a super high budget. They shot half of it in the woods. I don't know any of the cast, so you don't really have any big names here. So it would be the kind of fun movie you could sell and show again and again and again, and people would like it. And it would be totally harmless. It wouldn't burn up the Oscars or anything, but it would be something you could show people. You could show your kids, and you wouldn't be embarrassed by. You could show you could sit around with your friends even, and watch it. Your friends and if their kids were in the mix, you wouldn't have to worry, right? You could all kind of watch the movie, and it's not reliant on big name talent, so that gives them a certain amount of freedom to do a little more, maybe with the characters, not necessarily have to show certain characters all the time because they're the big names, if you know what I mean. That happens in a movie. If you got the big name star and he doesn't have a lot of lines because the character they've casted him in wasn't meant to be a big character, well, that can be a problem. And that happened in a movie I worked on, and they ended up completely rewriting the script, and it, in my view, upset the balance of what was originally trying to be achieved in the earlier drafts of the screenplay. This, you wouldn't have to worry about that. There's nobody here that's going to, throw their weight around and say, oh, I need more lines. So, first act, they're in church, the family they're having problems, but they're not big problems. They're more like amusing problems. The wife wants everybody to be happy and nice and get along, and they're not, there's no real problems here, but it's sort of like, suburbanite problems. And so she talks the husband into going to the camp. So they go, and then in the second act, there's all sorts of problems, and then they meet the other family, and they're wacky guys, and they're a little obnoxious. So most of the second act is their competition with the other family, and eventually the third act, I think, is them being trapped in the woods together, and then eventual escape. And they end up bonding and being buddies, and maybe the wives do too, and everybody learns an important lesson, and then they all go home, and then they can leave. Something like this you could leave open for a sequel, right? Yeah, then in the sequel they all go, I don't know, on vacation or something. So, yeah, it could be fun. I'm warming up to it. Would I see it? I'm not going to the theaters for this. I might see it if I heard it was really, really funny, or if I was over a friend's house and they were watching it. I think this would be, I think I'd be able to endure it. I don't think I'd be like, oh God. So, yeah, wholesome comedy. Who knew? Somebody's doing it. Roadside Attractions are doing it, apparently. So check out Family Camp if you got a family. Seems pretty wholesome. May 13th. And that's it for me, Tony D. Little Joan. Check me out at OC Con in Ocean City Music Pier, Saturday and Sunday. If you're around, Otherwise, we'll see you on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble. See ya.